Did one of you want to write it on the board?
I mean, maybe, yeah. Oh,
I mean, I have really bad handwriting. I feel like you'd have good handwriting.
No, I can't read my own handwriting. So I'm looking through my notes and like, I don't even know
This
what I was
type
thinking.
everything.
Yeah. Look at my handwriting.
I've got two
No,
different.
it's on there. We don't need to write.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go.
Oh,
Would like to access your camera. Okay.
That's great.
ooh,
Sure.
this is a dating app for birds.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Oh, do I have to get it?
I mean,
My phone keeps complaining that its storage is always full.
What's the time?
Mr. Wolf?
9:59.
Okay.
I'm excited to play this. The art is really aesthetic.
Can I just tell them?
To download that.
Great.
yep. Ah. And we just did it too. Is that good?
is that what we should be doing? Best played in groups.
It's really weird being able to see myself on the screen down there.
I know, it's very distracting. I'll just be making eye contact with myself. I'm trying to make eye contact. It's really weird. How do I?
This one, it's this one.
Oh no.
I mean, the one pointing at your face.
One point in my face. I know. I'm really bad at mental rotations.
Yeah.
All right.
Never done show to make before.
Oh, maybe my flatmate will be delighted.
So if you guys open up your blue, yeah,
I just like that it changes color.
I'll set them up for you and bring them over. If you guys, you should take a look at the app. When you open it up, there should be a little kind of dot, a circle with a picture of a shadowed person there. Tap that in for me. And then I'll actually get you to type 4 letters in there.
Person?
What good question. S S F M. Sydney Science Festival morning.
Is it all in lowercase?
All lowercase.
Okay.
Where do we tap it in?
Oh,
I've already
sorry.
failed.
SSFM.
But where do we tap it in? Like,
Under the
oh,
humanoid, the student
nice.
submit.
Yes.
Saved student ID.
Give her a tab.
Did yours work?
Yeah, I've got some.
It didn't really do anything, but it comes up with saved student ID.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's see which ones these have the apples.
I like when you press the blue steel, the feathers change color.
Ooh.
I have to, you need to
I like the red. I'm
onto
gonna get a
the screen.
screenshot of this. Oh, no leaves.
Oh,
They come back. They leave their feathers?
Feathers.
Feathers.
no, I can't complete the tutorial because I don't have the thing. Oh, okay, no. I'm sure everyone's in the same situation.
What?
How is internet?
How does things work?
Are you no work?
Please, answer me.
Hey Siri.
I don't have Siri.
Oh wow, this is already more. How do you say? Office plants, and I've seen.
I've got them on my
Are they real?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They look too like almost dying to be not real.
Authenticity.
Alright, ladies and gents.
Yeah, but I have to.
So,
So sometimes we're going to need you to be really loud and cheer and, just have fun with it. But yeah, I'm going to do exactly the same thing, repeat the same thing to the people on the other side in just a minute when we go live. So this is a live show. Sorry? No, no. I will let you know what we're doing and when. And Mike is
We're
here,
going
so
live in 10
you guys
minutes.
all met Mike.
We're going YouTube live
Mike
in 10 minutes.
is a professor here at USW. He's an evolutionary biologist, but he is also the founder and director of Arludo, which is the games that you're going to be playing. So he's super cool. He makes video games and all that jazz. And then Rachel over here, she's our tech woman and just makes this happen. Couldn't do it without Rachel. So we're super excited. Now a little bit of housekeeping. The toilets, if you need to go to the bathroom, you need to go out these doors, walk around the building, go into the doors because the bathrooms
I'm going for serious.
Yep.
okay? So, and we've got our lovely helpers to help you out and find your way and stuff like that. So that's all good. You're going to be using your phones
Boomerang.
today,
Oh, we're gonna
so,
wave.
or iPads or whatever you have. So make sure you've got. Yeah, you've all downloaded the Steel now.
Wow, there's gonna be more of me on social
We're
media
also
than there
going to
usually
be
is.
Slido, SLI.do, and we're going to be asking you questions. So we're going to want you to
What's the Slido thing?
They you can ask the crowd questions and they can answer.
Like a poll.
Yeah.
Do we need that as well?
We can take
I
that
think
one.
it's just the website though, isn't it? Like you just go.
It's like a link.
So
Slide.
that's Slido right there. So, and I'm going to tell you when we're going to do this, so don't worry. But it's just
Audience.
what
Oh,
Slido.com,
fun. That's me.
and then it asks you
That's
the
us.
event number, and you just put it at 220, and then
Take a picture
the
of that. It's
questions
crazy.
will pop up for you, and I'm going to tell you.
Wait, can't see my peace sign.
That's great.
Oh, yeah, well,
Slido.
we'll sort you out.
Event code.
9220.
Yeah.
Wow, this is crazy.
Otherwise, are there any questions? No? Okay, we're going to be going live in just a few minutes. When we do, we're going to need you. So we're going to have
Just
Ian.
it's really
And we're
distracting.
going to need you to cheer
It's super
really
distracting.
loud. So I was thinking maybe we could practice a couple times so that when we do go live on YouTube, they'll think that there's 1,000 people in this room. All right?
2,000.
2,000.
2,000.
So,
That's so
so
many people.
when we're ready to go live, Mike's gonna go 5, 4.
Perfect.
Oh, I'm so glad they're here. All right. So you guys chat and mingle,
feel like
and we're going to get
When you can't see the back of my brain, it looks like I've got a really weird bun.
Bring it forward. Yeah, I like that.
They're so cute.
Oh, that's good question.
They'll-
There's a I have no idea.
So, so I think all these pictures are in fact on the board, right?
I think it's just the higher ones
Oh,
up.
the higher ones.
Yeah.
They're really cool. I wish you could draw.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad I didn't try.
I'm really glad whoever did like the
Yeah.
banners. They look so cute.
I was all like, I can do this.
I like that I've got a little jellyfish.
Glad I didn't.
And then
Oh, yeah.
Like cute little
More animals.
chemistry one looks good. I mean, jellyfish is easy to draw, right?
That's true.
I don't know which app to be running. Jeez.
Oh, mine's not a science and stuff.
Mine's not science
I mean,
either, but you
I
can
don't think any of
tag
Yeah, you can still tag me in it if you want.
You can put me on.
Yeah, it's just Anna.95.
Usually they just
Yeah.
type it.
Mine's really.
Is this Insta?
Okay.
You don't have to, right? Science.
So I put that like, and then you
Wait,
can do
is it dot 95 or is it just
Instagram.
I do.
You want to tag yourself?
I mean, sure.
yeah.
It'll be fine. I just keep.
Nothing's gonna go wrong.
It's going viral.
I'd really rather it didn't, but
Oops.
How the
done.
body works. Yours sounds quite sciencey.
I know, and it's nothing to do with my research though. It's all that project from 15 years ago.
that's so great.
At least it's not your yoga blog.
I mean, I was thinking, should I tag my
That
music
sounds
blog, which is
Twitter,
actually
but
kind of
not in.
closer to my actual research? I don't know.
Oh, mine's got nothing.
There you are.
Oh, am I on
That's
silent?
it.
Are you guys all on silent?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, good. I am not.
Will be a problem with my phone
I am
buzzes.
not.
Should I turn off buzzing? I mean, the sort of vibrating.
The mic is right there.
Ooh, well, thank you.
Student at your nest studies. I don't know very many people that uses Instagram for science. I know a few.
No.
There are a few really big, major people.
I feel like, yeah, like all like the CSIRO and
A lot of
they
med
all have
people.
like med people do it.
I think you've got to do the right science to be able to show it.
Yeah, like I have no visual, like fun visual cues.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I guess you could show some mice before you snap their necks.
yeah.
With the
Us sitting at a
Sharpie.
computer.
I've got a colleague who's a herpetologist who does mad cute Instagram frog pictures.
Oh,
See,
That's
that's
pretty
very
photogenic.
cute.
Field.
yeah.
Wait, they live?
Living frogs.
But they live though.
They live after the photograph also, yeah. yeah. It's not before shot and then like delicately cutting
Before
away.
and after. Oh.
So the kids at the back were trying to guess our names. I'm sure they must have read them somewhere, but they guessed my name and Mike's. And then they were like, she looks like a Michelle. He looks like a Dan. And I'm like, what? And then I can't remember. But yeah, they were like trying to guess your names. They got yours right.
I get a drink of water.
It's like, whoa.
So do we talk to the audience or do we just
Yeah,
talk
talk.
to each other?
Yeah, talk to the audience. Make sure you can project.
Is there a room mic for them?
No.
Okay.
So the mic is for YouTube, and so we'll just have to project for these
Okay,
guys.
but also if we get a verbal question from them, we need
should
to repeat
repeat
the
it?
question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've never done anything like this before.
No.
So
There's
far.
a lot of like, I've done the video conferencing and but now I'm like, I'm controlling questions and slides,
Wow, that's very involved.
and I feel like I may like stumble a few times, but whatever.
You got this.
Yeah.
It's not like
You
it's
got this.
I
recorded
got
live.
this.
We're on the team here.
Just do another take.
Cut.
Another YouTube.
I keep looking at my wrist,
Yeah.
For the time.
but it's here.
And also, yeah.
Oh no! Are you serious? What the hell? Okay, I'm just gonna plug this in because I can't see.
That was in the actual.
You can't see what? Can't
Oh.
see how.
Yeah, I might have to watch myself.
Yeah, I'm going to watch myself.
Yes,
Oh,
me too.
which one? Sorry. Yeah, I know, right?
Sugar honey iced tea.
I've been around adults way too long.
We'll actually be playing in groups. So that means kids, you'll be getting into groups of 5. Parents, I'd love for you to be inside those groups, but I don't want you to be part of the whole thing, you two especially. But you can't tell the kids the answer. They gotta figure it out themselves. Fair enough? This is all what science is. Science isn't explaining things, science is figuring things out for yourself.
Is that my word?
So,
Hey?
Are we a group as well?
because you'll be working in
Yeah.
groups of 5.
Yes.
It's going to be a little bit of
Yep.
a competition.
Because there's
And
going to
when
be a
we get into
competition.
it, when you get your groups of 5, underneath that little,
It'd be so good if we lost.
there's a little
So like,
group icon in that circle.
You
You
might.
guys can choose a group name for yourself and give
That'd be so
yourself a
funny.
name. And
Good ones
those
that can type
names
fast
are
and
going to
nice.
pop up on the board later on when we have our competition as we're playing along.
The screen's going to
Fair enough?
And you're going to be competing against these guys, and my money is on you guys.
Same.
Just saying.
Bring it on.
Bring it.
That's competitive.
So can you guys all hear us from up here? Yeah, if we talk like this in a nice big voice, you can all hear us? Okay, good. If you can't, just like talk to me, like wave and say, talk louder, you know? Tell me what to do. I'm okay with that.
Oh, cute.
Oh, I love that.
That was from before.
On the
Someone
UNSW Instagram?
Arludo tweeted
being.
I was like, why are we waving?
We're Insta famous.
Super cute.
That's so good.
We've got our social media crew over there.
Yeah, good. I'm terrible. I've got a proven inability to multitask social media.
My phone is stuck on this screen for now. So.
Yep. Yeah,
So
I
how
used.
many of these have you done? Sorry.
I used to do a lot more. I worked at the Powerhouse Museum, so part of my job was doing things like this, video conferences to people all over Australia, with like to NASA and stuff like that. But I haven't done it in a while. I did one with Mike in like June, but he was interviewing me. I was so it was a bit different. But yeah,
How long have you been? You still at Powerhouse?
I'm not. No, I'm doing my PhD here. I'm almost.
Yep. When did you start there?
I started there in 2010, and I was there for 7 years, and then I quit to do my thesis full time.
So you started when I quit.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I started when they had the ABBA exhibition on, and
Oh yeah. Okay. That was next cohort.
just the next one. Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be starting up in less than a minute.
Okay.
Okay.
It's really gotten to you.
Like,
It's thriving.
So, guys, we're going to start in less than a minute.
Probably less than 30 seconds now.
We're super excited. I don't know if you guys saw, but like I made these guys drink maple syrup, like pure maple syrup earlier. So
we're a bit
we are high on sugar. I don't know if anyone's ever done that, but yeah, I recommend it. Don't tell your parents I told you though.
So we'll be active for 30 minutes and fall asleep.
then crash.
You got control of this and ready to.
Yeah.
You got it.
I'll do my best.
Awesome. You've got volume working on this.
Yes. Just Mike,
Yes. All
just press the volume button. Just turn the volume up at the top.
You can make them.
Isn't it
Just
3D
make sure it's
interactive
all the
one?
way up, but otherwise, yeah, it should be.
I know the game, so I'm going to scale back and just play a bit silly. Just be silly.
You've played it before? Yeah.
I think Tegan's played it before. You played Blue Steel before, right?
No.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Oh, you're the.
Oh, I want to
You're the
say
Blue Steel
anything
boss.
then.
So you played it.
Yeah.
So we have an advantage.
It should start automatically.
We're just gonna.
Oh, look at Eddie Wood. I'm already a fan.
I really like that screen, like that.
That screenshot.
Yeah, screen.
Yeah.
Great, great.
Just that excitement.
That's like me every time someone takes a photo.
No, is there sound now?
Also with the moving hands too. Like it's clearly like.
Are you taking it now?
Bye, Eddie Wood.
Bye, Eddie.
Like,
Oh.
just mention it. Go check out this video.
Yeah.
Eddie Wood.
I've never.
You've never heard of it?
But I'm,
No,
I'm
I've heard of him, but what's
keen
the
to
video
try
about?
YouTube.
Oh, he just says
right.
something about like why are science and maths important? You know, blah blah blah. Hey,
Do you have a charger for your
what about power?
Power. This won't have. Will it have enough batteries for 2 hours?
Oh yeah, but we'll have to charge it for the salvo. But I did not bring it. Sorry, I'm sorry.
What flavor
Yeah.
is it?
MacBook.
MacBook
85.
Pro.
I think I have one of those in my desk.
And you're just over there,
Cool.
aren't you?
Red
Matt?
center. Yeah. I think.
Ready, everyone?
85.
All right. 5, 4, 3.
Oh my gosh! Welcome everyone. Good morning and happy Sydney Science Festival. We are broadcasting live from Sydney, Gadigal country, and we have an awesome audience with us today for our event, Playing Video Games for Science. My name is Isabelle Kingsley, and I am a scientist at the University of New South Wales, and I am so excited because we have a really awesome event for you guys this morning. Joining us on YouTube, we've got a live studio audience. We've got students here from some schools in Sydney, and we're going to talk about science, meet some scientists, do some science, play some video games, and just have a fun, laid-back couple of hours. So first things first. So what we're going to be doing today is I've got 4 lovely people here who just happen to have really cool, interesting jobs. They are scientists and from all kinds of fields, and we are going to meet them. We're going to be chatting to them and getting to know them a little bit as scientists, but also as people. They are just like regular, normal people. We're going to be playing some video games and, we're going to be asking you guys some questions. You guys can ask us some questions. We'll just be chatting. So you're going to need your phones. Those of you joining us on YouTube, pull out your phones. You're going to need 2 things here. Slido. So Slido, SLI.do. Go to the website, and you should be seeing a screen right now with the code, and the code is 9220, and that's how you can participate in the event. So just go to slido.com, put in the event code 9220, and you'll see I'll be controlling the questions, so you'll see the questions pop up as we go, and you can interact with us and send us your answers. You'll see you can also ask us questions, so go to the question tab, type in your questions, send it our way, and we'll try our best to answer it. The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to be playing some video games. They are Arludo games, and although we will be playing a game here on site called Blue Steel, which is an augmented reality game, and unfortunately you guys on YouTube, you don't have the targets, so we've got a different game for you. It's called Hungry Birds, not Angry Birds, although if you don't feed your birds, they might get hungry or hangry or whatever, but it's called Hungry Birds. So just go to Google Play or the App Store and download Hungry Birds, and you can play along while we're playing Blue Steel. Very similar games. We're going to be doing some science with birds today. So, but let's get started with our event. I am so excited to introduce you to our awesome scientists and panelists. I'm going to start with Tegan Gayle. Tegan is a biologist, and before I tell you anything more about Tegan, I want you to take a look at this photo of a mouse. Okay, so you should be seeing a photo of a mouse. Aww. And so go to Slido. Go to Slido. You guys in the audience, go to Slido. You should have already typed in your code 9220. And this is high-tech stuff, guys. Let me just show you the question. So, can you guys all see the question? And YouTube also. Okay, so what is this mouse? Is it pregnant with twins? Is it in trouble for leading 3 blind friends to the farmer's wife? And if you don't know that, you should be reading some old school nursery rhymes here. Or ate way too much pizza. We've got a bit of a split. Whoa, okay.
Do we get points for getting this right?
Always.
All right, so the photo you should oh, wait, sorry, Dan. I'm sorry, guys. Yeah, the people in the audience can't even see a photo.
Yep.
They're going blind on this. All right, there's our fat little mouse. There you go. Everyone on YouTube could see it, but you guys couldn't. All right, so we've got 80% of people thinking this fat mouse is pregnant with twins. So Tegan Gayle, she's a biologist, and she studies sexual conflict. Now, with mice. She works with mice. So Tegan, can you tell us a little bit what you do? What is sexual conflict? What does this have to do with this mouse? Tell us what you do.
So, mice is my study species, so they're the ones I actually do my experiments with.
Yeah.
However, sexual conflict in general is basically a phenomenon where we all think probably when a male and a female come together to mate, we think it's kind of a harmonious and cooperative union, right? Bombshell, it's not. There's a lot of conflict in that union, in sexual reproduction. And that's because when a male and a female come together to mate, the male and the female usually have different strategies that's best for them. So what's best for the female when it comes to mating may not be best for the male, and vice versa. I'll give you an example. So if we looked at praying mantises, okay? Usually after a male and a female mate, the female will eat the head off the male. Now, this is clearly good for the female because she gets a bit of a meal. Yay!
Yay!
But it's also clearly bad for the male, okay? Because he dies. So there's a conflict happens.
Reproducing is very
Yes.
dangerous for male praying mantis.
Yes, and spiders. There's a few of them. They'll eat them. So that's an
Wow.
example of there's a conflict there.
Okay, wow. And so you use mice to study this kind of conflict.
Yes, in various different ways.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do
Well,
mice usually eat each other?
No.
Okay.
Thank God.
I feel like there's also, do you ever study humans? I'm sure there's a little bit of conflict between, humans.
Yeah, absolutely there is. Although when I have done one study on humans, however, I used mice to do it, but that's about a genetic level.
Oh, okay.
So there's usually a bit of conflict over the genes that the mum and the dad give to the fetus.
Oh, right.
I thought it was like 50-50 split.
It is,
Yeah?
but what
They fight
happens
over
is,
which ones.
what they think happens, the theory is that the dad will give the mum the genes to the fetus that try and suck investment out of mum.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if the fetus is saying, give me more food, it gives the mum gestational diabetes because she's got more sort of sugar going around her bloodstream. So that's how the offspring is causing that genetic sort of conflict there.
Wow.
That's
that
one of the
is
theories that I was
So
looking into.
interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really surprised at that.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Okay, our next guest is Dan McKinley, and
Did we get the answer about the mouse though? I was listening to my seat.
Yeah.
yeah, the answer. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. Yes, the answer was it was a pregnant mouse. It wasn't a mouse that ate too much pizza.
Although twins is pretty rare.
Yeah.
Hey, these mice usually they can get up to 12.
Oh, 12.
They can
Oh
come
my
out with
gosh.
12
And
in
you
one
may
go.
have seen the photo that popped up there on YouTube that they're bald when they come out.
Yeah, they look like little pink jelly beans.
Like the naked
Yeah.
mole rats.
Yep.
They look
Very
Oh.
cute.
Yes.
Little naked baby mice. Aww.
That's definitely more than twins. Yeah.
Yes, that's more than
Twins would be
twins.
very rare.
So let me introduce you to Dan McKinley. Dan is a mathematician, and Dan travels around the world and does all kinds of really interesting things. You'll see on the photo just that we're showing you right now. And I'm going to get you to guess what Dan is doing. I don't know if you got to see this for very long, so I'm just going to put it back, actually. There you go. So this is a photo of Dan. All right, everyone can see it. And I'm going to put up the question, and I want to
vote
know,
in this one, right?
what is Dan doing? Is he recording Harvest Festival musicians in Java to test an algorithm? Is he demonstrating how to do squats or juggling microphones? What do you think? None of the above.
I'm really disappointed at everyone's assessment of my juggling skills.
Zero for juggling.
Yeah.
Zero for
You're
juggling.
obviously not a very good juggler.
But
Well-
you're doing some for squats.
I mean, yeah.
Good form.
yeah, good form. Well, we've got an overwhelming response for the recording musicians in Java. So Dan, tell us what you're doing in that photo, and talk a little bit about what you do.
Okay, so I am in fact recording musicians at the Harvest Festival in a village called Chiptagalar in Java. So number one is correct. Congratulations to anyone who got that.
Yay.
Nice work. My area, I'm a mathematician. My specialization is in statistics, and my specialization in statistics is time series statistics. So time series statistics is when you study things that change through time. And for me, the most interesting one of these problems is sound. So sound is something that obviously happens in time. When you hear someone speak to you, that's a process that only makes sense because this sentence that I'm saying right now, it takes 3 or 4 seconds to say, and your brain receives a series of impulses from the sound that hits your eardrums, and you can take it apart and work out what I just said. So, and when we record sound digitally, we represent it as a series of numbers. So normally if you're playing a CD, for example, we have 44,000 samples every second, 44,000 points every second, where we record the air pressure.
Just 44,000?
Only 40,
That's
well,
it?
44,100.
Oh.
Of course.
If you want to put me on the spot.
I thought it wasn't enough.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a whole other area there. But yeah, so for my work, it means 44,000 samples a second usually.
Okay.
And the type of thing that I do with these time series of audio recordings is I use statistical analysis to work out what I answer a lot of problems. But the one that you just saw in that photo just there was looking at creating sound effects. So this is for something for application to music. One of the problems that you have in a village, so Chiptagalar here, this village, they have been a separatist mountain kingdom for I think it is 600 years or so. So they've been isolated for a long time in Indonesia, and they, like a lot of places in Indonesia, they have their own tuning system. So they have their own local gamelan set, and they have their own local, so the instruments that you can, I'm not sure how many you can see there. Anyway, they have their own tuning systems. And one of the interesting things about their own tuning systems is if you try and plug that into one of your music software packages that people use for making electronic music or whatever, or just for processing recordings, it doesn't work very well.
Oh.
So you want to work out the sort of music that, the sort of tuning systems that they have, and work out how you can create musical effects that sound good with local instruments, with not just there but for anywhere, right? I care about everyone's got a wacky tuning system. I want to make a musical effect that sounds good with their tuning system.
Yeah.
And so, these guys in Java have been one of the subject groups that have helped me out by giving me field recording.
That's so cool. So you're into maths, you're obviously into music. You get to travel to Indonesia. Like, not bad. Not bad of a job, really.
Yeah.
So
it's a good deal.
It's a good deal. It's a good deal. I went and found one of your papers, and I'm going to show everyone on YouTube and here one of your papers. This is an academic paper or scientific report, and this is what Dan wrote. Now, can you please explain? I just want to check that you understand the math. 'Cause I checked yesterday, and I thought it just sounded really good. Well, what's going on here?
So, if memory serves, this is the sum of log normal densities paper. Is that right?
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is also a time series-esque model, but this is from one of my other research applications. So we're looking at another thing that happens in time, which is the reliability of, well, the application for that paper is the reliability of wireless networks.
Oh, okay.
Which turns out to involve a lot of the same mathematics,
Yeah.
which is a long story we can get into later if you like. But I mean, also, one of the nice things about mathematics is you study a model that looks like it applies to one thing, and you often find it applies to a huge variety of different areas.
Yeah, right.
And to be honest, there's more funding available to improve the reliability of wireless networks than there is to go to cool Indonesian villages and hang out with musicians.
Okay. So sometimes you have to do the fun stuff, and then sometimes you have to do the more serious stuff. But
Yeah. I mean, they're both pretty fun, but definitely the hanging out in the tropical rainforest is more fun.
Yeah, for sure. Why not?
But so that paper, we're trying to work out the likelihood that if you have a lot of, one of the examples we're trying to get at is if you have a lot of phones, for example, on one network.
Yeah.
And you want to know the chance
Like right now.
like right now. And if we're going to have that thing where we suddenly have the little buffering symbol come up as we can't get enough bandwidth, we want to know the probability that will happen, right? So that's the thing that the wireless, the telecommunications people care about, is how much capacity do you have to keep the probability of this sort of buffering network failure thing really low. And so that model is tell us that. Basically, how much can the telcos not spend money?
Yeah. So can I watch cat videos all the time now?
I mean,
On your own private network, yeah.
I can't tell you if you can watch. I can tell you if you can watch cat videos as cheaply as possible.
Oh, yeah, that would be,
I mean, that's
super
a goal.
useful. All right, our next guest is Anna Syme. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Anna Syme. And Anna is chemist, physicist, cosmologist, just does all kind. It's like slash.
Yeah, the ologist.
You sent me a photo of your computer.
Yeah.
Here's a photo of Anna's screen, and I want to know what you think is going on here. Okay.
This is going to be funny.
So, is this the grocery list for the MasterChef finale?
That's it.
The world's most detailed travel itinerary. It looks like my mom's travel itinerary. Or a code to review space molecules. And the votes are coming in
I mean, guys,
like crazy.
I
We've got a
basically
sharp
travel a
audience.
lot, like Dan does as well, so it could be my travel itinerary.
So, Anna, tell us, like, what is that? What is on your screen? What are you working on?
So on the right of the screen was my database that I've got, which is, I think it's got about 6.8 million different transitions of different space molecules.
I don't even know what
What's
to
a
ask.
space
for
molecule?
that. Yeah, what's a space molecule?
I mean, a space molecule is a molecule that has been observed in space. So
Okay.
that's, I'm working with diatomics at the moment, which just means that there's two atoms. So you've got like HCl is like a
Okay.
space, or like O2,
Okay.
carbon monoxide.
Yes.
Very small
so
molecules.
two
Two
oxygen.
atoms.
Yeah.
Two-
all right.
two
Two
atoms.
atoms. Two atoms.
So I'm looking at how they interact with light
Yeah.
computationally. So I do it all on the computer, which is fun. I get to sit behind a computer and write code, which is what you saw on the left-hand side.
Yes.
But basically what we're looking at doing is comparing how these space molecules would have interacted with light many billions of years ago in distant galaxies.
like
Like,
the Big Bang.
not quite the Big Bang, but like 10 billion years ago.
Okay. Right.
Yeah,
Just
so-
10 billion years
yeah,
ago.
just a casual-
Not that long ago.
Casual
Okay,
10
yeah.
billion years ago.
Yeah.
And comparing that to how they would interact with light, like the same sort of light here on Earth today.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you get to look into the past
Mhm.
to figure out what's happening in the present. So you're like time traveler.
Kind of, yeah. We're looking at how things have changed over time.
Doctor
So,
Who.
I know. It's so cool.
yeah. It's really interesting because some of the things that we've considered that haven't changed over time might be changing over time.
So you're changing basically what we already know.
Mhm.
Your research is changing that. So you're changing
Yeah.
science.
Yeah, I'm gonna rewrite some textbooks.
Whoa.
That is amazing because
If it
that's
works.
one of the misconceptions is we just think that, you know, science is these facts and that we know everything, but we don't. We don't know everything, and science is changing all the time as new discoveries are made, as people like you are working on
Yeah.
different problems. You're making new discoveries and you're changing our knowledge.
It's one of my favorite things about science is that every time something comes up and we're like, oh, this doesn't work with our theory, well, let's just change our theory. Our theory is obviously not explaining all of the evidence. So, like, we've got new evidence that says something else. Our theory must be incomplete in some way.
Sure.
So let's add to it.
Yeah. We have a question actually. How does maths and science relate to each other?
I mean, maths is one of the great ways that you use science. Maths is-
Adversarially, yeah,
No,
right?
they're so complementary, right?
Oh yeah, that too.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
they are complementary. Like I know that. I mean, I never thought when I was in high school, I did not think that I was going to ever need maths, and now as a researcher, I am struggling with statistics because I have to do maths. I need to understand maths. Like they go together.
Yep. I mean, I think we were talking about this before, right, Anna? With the because I think we both do less lab work, which is what you tend to think about. I mean, you obviously have a lab, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I never go and collect. Well, actually, I do, but I'm unusual in collecting my own data. Normally, in my department, we use other people's data and we try and point algorithms at them and analyze them and say, oh well, we've found out that in fact, what you thought was true is not true. Or hopefully what you said was true and everything's fine.
But we all have to unfortunately use math.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Do maths.
Sorry, I would like to think that maths is the way to make sense of the things you observe as science. So
Yes.
that inherently they go hand in hand.
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah. No, definitely. So Fonti, I haven't introduced you yet. Hi, Fonti. Hi. Hi, Mom. Fonti Carr is an evolutionary biologist at the University of New South Wales, and Fonti, we've got a photo of you, which is awesome. It's going to be coming up very soon, and you'll see it on YouTube, and we'll be showing it here. So there is Fonti. Now I want to know. I want to have your guesses at what you think. What is Fonti doing in this photo? Is she asking this lizard for directions?
I'm gonna vote too.
Catching lizards for an experiment, or having a staring contest? Because it's pretty intense. Look, you've got on your face there.
That is such a nice photo. Very aesthetic. The angles are so
Oh,
good.
yes, so
very
good.
good. Most people think that you're catching lizards for an experiment. Is that true?
Yes.
Yes. So
Completely
tell
true.
us, tell us what you're doing and what you do as a scientist.
At the moment, I work with lizards to ask questions about evolution and how animals evolve to solve problems in their own little world. And in order to do that, I have to catch wild animals and bring them into the lab and run tests on them and get my answers that way.
Okay. So actually, I'm going to show another photo, which is when I saw this photo, I thought, I just gasped. What is Fonti doing here? Can we all see the photo?
Oh, that looks scary.
What is yeah, it's a little bit scary. Like, are you squishing
Scary
it?
for the lizard.
Are you squishing it? What's going on?
So-
Is it safe?
It's completely safe. The animals are not harmed in any way during this process. I'm just measuring the width of the head. So I was trying to understand whether males' head width, or how big the head is, can predict how hard they bite. Because these lizards I work with fight each other, and you would think if you bite harder in a fight, you're more likely to win.
So do you also
Okay.
test their
Yeah.
bite strength?
Yes, I test their bite strength on this thing that they have to clamp on. It's like going to a dentist for a lizard.
Yeah.
And then I run Lizard Fight Club for a few
Do
weeks.
you?
Yes. And,
God. Lizard Fight Club. Where do you run those?
in a lab as well with these wild animals. And but no animals are very safe during this process.
For sure. I mean, we were looking at some of the photos you sent, and in every single photo, Fonti's got like the biggest smile. You're like genuinely the nicest person ever. I'm sure those lizards are in very good hands, and no one is harmed. But yeah, that is cool.
Where was that photograph taken? Where are you collecting the lizards?
This was on Macquarie Uni campus.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so they're ubiquitous. These are eastern water skinks, and they're a real common backyard critter, actually. Yeah.
Nice, cool. All right. Well, it's interesting because all our guests here do very different things. I mean, Fonti, you work in a lab, but not everyone works in a lab. I mean, we've got this idea of what a scientist does, and and looks like, and the lab coat and the goggles and all that stuff, and it's not all like that, is it? No.
I mean, I sit at my computer all day and type away. Like there's no
code.
lab code.
Yeah, right.
Goggles though, right?
Who's good
Luckily I
at
have good
coding
eyesight,
in
so.
the audience here? Who does coding?
Girls who code.
Yes, coders. Yeah,
Get you
yes.
far in life.
So coding is part of science.
Yeah,
You
definitely.
know,
So
you're
much.
out in the field collecting lizards, and then you go in the lab. You're like recording music, and
I have to be honest, I spend more time at the desk than
yeah. And Tegan, you're a
mouse
little
house.
yeah, exactly. So crazy. It's crazy. Hey, okay, so I think it's time to do a little bit of science. Yes. So, like I said, here in our audience, we're going to be playing a game called Blue Steel. The audience on YouTube, you guys, I think I've already told you, but once again, if you're just tuning in, you can go to Google Play or the App Store and download the Arludo game called Hungry Birds. And you can play that game, and we're going to be playing a similar game here called Blue Steel. Now, guys in the audience here, the game you're going to be playing is an augmented reality game. And your role is going to be to impress a female bird, okay? To do that, females are pretty choosy, as they should be. Am I right, ladies? Yeah. So females are pretty choosy, so you're going to be showing them things that they like and things that they don't like. And you need to figure out what they like, because we're going to be taking on the role of the male bird, and we want the female to like us, so we want to show her and present to her just, the things that she likes, so that she'll pick us instead of the other male. So you're going to be doing that. You're going to be in your little groups, and you're going to be competing against other groups, and you're going to be competing against our scientists. Yeah. Now, your role is to collect 4. That's 3. That's 4. I'm heaps good at math. 4 hearts, okay? The first group who gets 4 hearts from the female wins. And then once we've done that, maybe we'll have a bit of a competition as who can get the most females. So, pull out your phones and get started.
Should we read the instructions or just dive straight in and work it out?
Dive in.
Jump in.
Okay, dive in.
How do we go on a team?
Oh,
Oh, we don't have targets. Our scientists don't have targets.
Virtual reality is so weird. Hey, Fonti, you're a bird. You're not a bird.
See how many chicks we can get. Don't people play this at the weekend? Weekend activities.
Oh, hi, tag up, make sure you double.
TGIF,
Yeah. It is Friday.
How does this work?
So Mike's gonna go. He's like, can you explain it again? All right.
I just noticed now that we have the banners for our disciplines up there, and
Yeah.
I am blocking chemistry.
Yeah, it's a bit rude, honestly.
Oh.
Yep.
It's like, that's right.
Chem.
I do quite a bit of physics as well. So.
But I didn't translate with the mathematics. I'm about to say, but you're practically a physicist. That makes you practically a mathematician anyway.
Yes.
Right?
I don't do quite enough maths to be even close to being a mathematician.
I mean,
Do like fractional differences and stuff like.
hey, sounds good enough to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was surprised at how much stats I needed for. So do you need me?
Wow.
Woo!
Ooh.
Yeah, you need to know. We all need to know math.
Oh.
I know. All right. So I'm just going to explain it one more time. If you've got the hang of it, go for it. You don't need to listen to me. But essentially, you've got targets, and you've got your bird, your female, and so you're going to present. So just put your target on, next to your female. So you're going to be doing this, and until you see it pop up in 3D on your phone. And then you're going to see, the female's either going to be no way. I'm not going for that. Or she's going to give you some hearts. And just try to figure out what she likes and what she doesn't like.
Cool. So do we like have a look through?
Yeah, so look, you have to look through your phone.
Can we?
Oh, look at all this.
Do we have to
Oh,
bust these
look
up?
at her.
Is that positive?
She's one hot chick.
Where is our bird?
Hey!
One hot chick.
Bad puns.
One hot chick.
How do we find the bird?
What is this? Is this a?
Where's our bird?
There's a
isn't it-
bird target.
Oh,
Yes.
That one.
Like it's the bird. No,
No,
there's
is
a
it this
proper
one?
bird. Yeah.
Is that the,
Yeah,
okay.
that's her.
So, oh yeah, that is actually the bird.
How does this work?
Oh.
I don't.
Maybe not on the notes.
Oh, we make it nice.
Do we use one phone or we all use our own
You
phone?
can all use your own phone.
I don't understand how this works.
Oh,
Is it working
my
for you?
phone. Yep,
Do
Mr.
you have
Reed.
a? Oh, you have a
Oh,
3D
you got it.
bird.
Let's just use our
Yeah, let's
Dan's
just use
phone.
Dad's phone.
All right,
Okay.
great.
Good idea.
Yeah,
Alright.
some flowers.
Okie doke.
Like
Does she like it?
Oh my god, that's so cool.
Women love flowers.
But do they
No,
want that?
she's-
No,
no,
I don't
she
think.
doesn't
I
like
think
it.
they
Alright.
want some fruit. She wants some fruit.
There's two colours of fruit too. Is that supposed to
Oh,
be the?
food. Women love food more than
I
flowers.
also love food.
All right, so
My
is
bird
that
has to be
is
in
that
there.
a drink? She's shaking her head, so
Oh, okay.
she's not liking that.
Okay.
She doesn't want food.
Does she want
Feathers.
feathers?
What's
Oh, yeah.
feathers? Is that feathers?
Make a nest.
No. So she's not liking the blue feathers.
No, what
So if
about?
I was a male and I had blue feathers,
about red
that
feathers?
would not be working for me.
Well, a bit shiny. Can we move it up? Oh,
Oh,
Oh, it likes that?
No,
No.
she's shaking.
No, oh my
she
God.
is hard to please.
Wow,
this
she
woman.
is.
Oh my
she
God,
is
she knows
a
what she wants, though.
choosy lady.
all right.
Good to be choosy.
This one
It
is.
is.
Agreed.
Oh wait. Oh,
That's a bottle cap.
no.
Yeah, it's some kind
Nope.
of really good with a
No, this
straw.
one.
that one.
Is it about colours?
Oh, she's
Well,
like
see, that's what
lollipop.
we're okay. She's hey, whoever's you gotta show her something. She's like dying over here.
All right,
phone is
let's
that on
try
the screen?
green.
Oh my god, have we not tried every color?
Flower, green flower. She's not having the green flower. She's
Oh,
not,
Oh
We've got
man.
nothing left.
that's
oh,
not
there's one more.
happening for her.
Some berries.
Our woman's too choosy.
One is very choosy.
Wow, she's not liking those feathers either. What about nope, no, not the green feathers.
Not the yellow
I don't
raspberry
think it's popped
corn.
up yet.
Oh yeah. Has it?
We
Oh yeah. I see what you're saying. Oh, we might have missed one at the start.
Oh, what?
Oh,
Oh,
no.
no, let's do this.
I don't think the yellow one ever actually came up.
What's the next target? Red. Oh,
Hey!
she likes the red flowers. Okay.
Well, ours likes this
Okay.
yellow flower. I think.
No, do we leave it?
I mean,
there?
she was getting pretty intimate with that yellow flower there. I think we should put that in the
So
good pile.
she likes
On
the
the
red
good- on the
flowers.
good
What
pile?
else?
So let's try all flowers and then we'll go for color.
Do we have blue,
Oh, we
red
need
flowers
to
as
make
well?
them pop up. And the other one.
And the yellow
Yeah, how do
berries
you make that-
are not doing
Come
it for
on.
her. So we've got red flowers.
No. We haven't actually tested
Yeah,
that one.
I think
We've got to wait for it to pop up before we actually get her real decision.
it's being grumpy about the popping up the
So
flower.
turn-
Not a fan of the bottle cap or whatever that
Yeah,
is.
turn out.
Is it- oh no, now I've lost both. Oh, this is
no.
challenging my poor little phone here.
Hey, the bird's back.
I don't think I can make the green flower actually.
Yeah.
This one
Hey,
keeps
it's-
popping up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Let's
Yeah, and she loves that one.
She loves that.
We,
into
we
that
can't test any hypotheses about the green flower though.
And I'm sure you guys can all hear what's going on.
Ooh.
I mean, I was describing what you were seeing, but they're
Nope.
playing a completely different. I mean, the same game, but
As if she's not into lollipops.
she they're struggling with their female.
Oh,
Oh, that was
maybe?
she did something.
Wait, maybe move it around. We can't get it to show up. Maybe move the phone angle.
Oh yeah, good idea. Oh, now I've lost both of them. Maybe
Try different
Yeah.
angles.
that feather's real. Yeah, so I was trying
Is
to.
that
other
another
female.
ladybird? Is that
Maybe,
another
yes.
Yeah, lady.
I think
Ladies
it
and
was.
ladies.
They were both not into
Okay.
each
Oh,
other.
we've actually got a love heart now. When did that appear?
I think that was a little while ago.
That
yeah?
was
Oh,
the flower.
Oh, you got a love heart. Yes.
Oh, she doesn't like
Which one was
lollipops.
which one was the love
And
heart
she-
for?
This one.
Okay, so yellow flower.
And we've got.
But
We
we
can't
can't
actually.
get some of those to show.
These two
of
won't
them
actually.
don't work.
Okay,
haven't tested
so
properly.
have you done all targets?
What is Dan doing?
What
What is Dan doing?
What is Dan doing?
is Dan even doing with his?
Not holding his phone.
Oh
at the
my!
right
Who let my
angle.
parents into the audience?
So let me give you guys I don't know. I'm just gonna throw a question out there. Have you tried all the targets?
We've tried all the targets. We haven't managed to make
They've tried
top
all
of
the
here.
targets,
Let's fire Dan.
and they've only
Let's
got
see
one
Tegan.
heart. I wonder if you can go out in
Hey,
the
let's get a real
wild.
experimentalist
Can
on
we
this.
go out in the wild?
Can you go out in the wild and see if you can, I don't know,
We'll
trade,
leave that.
Trade our bird, right?
Yeah, let's go for
collect
the
new data,
Oh yeah,
new
look.
objects to present?
The
I don't
lab
know.
people.
So our scientists have gone into the wild and are looking to trade targets. And our poor female is still only got 2 love hearts, so we're not doing very well here. You guys should see the activity that's happening behind the camera. It's all happening. We've got kids from different schools working together with scientists trying to figure out how to impress their females. There's some serious trading going on. And you guys on YouTube Live, if you are playing Hungry Birds, I hope you're doing all right. I hope you are feeding your birds and not letting them go hungry. Oh my gosh! We have a very excited team. I think we've got 4 hearts. Do we have 4 love hearts? Yes! Amazing. So we've got a winning team. They've got their 4 love hearts. And my money was on the students. The scientists are still struggling here. So we've got our scientists coming back with new targets. You know what? Those young people already, it's just figured it out and sorted it out.
Oh no, they kicked our asses.
They're much quicker than you guys are. I knew that was going to happen.
The technology of the young. I definitely, sorry for kicking everything.
That's all right.
Oh, just right up on my face.
That's for kicking the camera,
Yeah,
Anna.
that's
Anna kicked the
valid.
camera, and now the cameras are
Now it's
everywhere.
just all over on my face.
And on her face. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what you get for kicking the camera.
I was just so excited by the science. So excited.
It
I
can
really
happen.
wanted to please that woman. She's a very confusing taste.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Not straightforward at all.
Everyone, we've got lots more females here. Your job is to try and impress 3 before anyone else.
3.
I think they have
Three.
the same.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah. Oh. Do you think they all like berries?
I mean, we had.
No, the 3 berries and 1 flower.
Yeah.
So I would have
Bit of
went
an
with
outlier.
food, but then
Maybe it's
Like one of
object
each
from
colour,
each
wasn't
color.
it? It was one of each colour.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, so we've got our targets are all kinds of things. We've got berries, we've got feathers, we've got bottle caps,
Don't really understand it.
all kinds of things. But they're also different colors. So it might be about the object, it might be about the color, it might be the combination. It's really hard to tell. You kind of just have to, it's trial and error. And
It's a big part of science. Trial and error.
she
Big
seems
part
to
of
like
science.
to eat the rainbow. You know how different
Skittles.
Skittles,
different
yeah.
Definitely just like
Is she
throw some
balancing?
Skittles.
Yeah, she's balancing out
having
her
a balanced
nutrition.
diet here.
All berries and a flower.
Yeah, another bird.
Different colours.
I'll see if I can find another bird.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh my gosh, this group of young ladies over there is just killing it. They're winning every round.
Wow. I'm amazed.
Me too.
That is some good science.
It was great. You got the logging of papers out, by the way. That was like the furthest thing I've got from any application area
really?
out of everything.
Well,
Whoa.
yeah, we were, just looking you up online, and we found this paper, and Mike and I were laughing because we could not understand anything about it.
Yeah.
So we were like, we're gonna use that. We're gonna make you explain in 10 seconds what this massive equation is.
Oh, yep.
It looks really intimidating though. It
Yeah.
looks like serious.
Math papers are always just like, I look at them and I'm just like, no.
Yeah, but your spreadsheet and coding is pretty intimidating
Yeah,
too. I have
you
to
don't put
say.
that in like the paper, which is nice. So
No,
kind of just like,
that's
that's
true.
the background. Nobody needs to see that.
But I guess when that's your field, that's what you do. You become very in tune with it. This is your stuff. You understand. I mean, yeah, I'm sure it's always challenging, but
We all have
Yeah.
such a niche area of
Yeah.
stuff that we know.
Yeah.
exactly.
It's so small, and then
It's
if
so
we go
small.
Yeah,
anywhere
exactly.
outside of that, we're just lost.
Just completely.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, scientists don't know everything about science.
No.
I feel like that's another misconception is I have so many friends who
Science trivia.
Yes.
Anytime there's science trivia, they're like, you do science. And I'm like, sure, I do this one subset of like,
Exactly.
We know a
interdisciplinary
lot
chemistry
about
science.
About a little
Yeah.
thing. I know, and then they look at you, they're like, well, how do you not know that? You're a scientist.
If there's an integral equations category in the trivia, I'm sorted.
Yes.
I don't know. I'm not sure I can trust you. He just got banned from editing Wikipedia.
But even in our field, like
On
even
math
in
equations.
On math equations.
yeah, don't. But yeah, even in our field, there's so much that I don't know about my field, and so much to learn all the time from my colleagues, and it's a lot about interpretation too, right? Like,
What is your field, by the way?
oh yeah, so
Do you guys have another bird?
we do. We have another bird.
Oh, we've got.
Super intense competition going on right now. Like, my field, I study how people learn. I study how people learn, specifically how people learn science.
We need another bird. 'Cause you've already got the
We've
bird.
only got one bird.
We only have one.
Yeah,
Wait,
we've been.
isn't that a bird?
It's alright, don't worry.
You're okay.
That's right.
That's what Rachel's here for. It's okay.
Poor Rachel.
That was just the monitor.
Way too
I love it. Super into it. Yes. But you know what? What I'm finding from my research actually is that this kind of experience where you actually get to do science is the best way to learn. That's how we learn is we're
Yeah.
actually doing the science. Sitting in a classroom and reading about science or taking notes and learning about science facts isn't necessarily how you learn best, and actually doing it is the best way to go. So yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like on-the-job learning. You can only learn so much theory before you actually have
You really got to get your hands
Exactly.
in there,
Yes.
even if it is hands on the computers.
Okay, great. So we're going to have one last minute of this game, and then we're going to be showing you guys and our audience the data that we've collected, and we're going to analyze it. We're going to see what came out of our experiment.
Should I reconnect that so we can see the data?
Yes.
Yes.
Mike. Oh yeah. Never mind. We've been disconnected, but we'll just reconnect.
Oh, that is definitely a
We
trick
got
method.
super excited about finding another bird.
Yeah, it's important.
There's a lot of ones.
Team Berry Blast? Yeah. Team Berry Blast. They killed it. I think they won.
I think they won both,
I
didn't they?
think
Both.
they smashed it out of the park. They
That's
blasted
exceptional.
it out of the park.
Good fun. Very, very.
For everyone on
Very
YouTube,
good.
sorry it's a little bit chaotic, but science is chaotic, so
Oh yeah.
It's my life, just every day.
it's every day. Every time you do an experiment, I find in my experience, I'm like, no, I know what I'm going to find. Never do I find what I think I'm going to find. It's always a surprise, and I'm always thinking, what? Like,
What's going
I've had
on?
some
Yeah.
really zingers of those.
yes.
Yep.
And then I was like, what the hell have I got? And I can't try and figure out how to explain what I found.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. So always curveballs, more curveballs. It's awesome. It keeps it exciting.
It does. It
Every
really
time.
does. So for one of my experiments, I was looking at sexual conflict. So I gave females exposure to different types of males. So some were vasectomized, some were intact, so normal, and some were castrated. And I thought, see what would happen. Females all avoided the castrated males. No idea why.
Really?
What? How? Right?
Did not expect that.
How do they know? Do they?
So they can smell in the urine, they can smell it.
Okay.
But
Yep.
castrated males are less aggressive. They don't try and mate with the females. They're chilled little guys. And the females just avoid them like the plague.
Are they chilled? Do you think they're chilled little guys because, does it affect their testosterone
Yes.
level and their
Yes.
hormone level, so they're a little bit more?
They're real chill ass, and the
Less
females just like them immensely.
Wow. Do you think that's,
Really?
is it because the females are trying to reproduce? Or like,
Well, we don't know why. They
Right.
actually, whether they think that they're sick, or they're just weird, or
Yeah.
they're just
Different.
Bit boring.
boring.
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, hell no. And I was like, what? Did not expect that.
did they go
Animals are
towards the
complicated.
normal and the vasectomy the
Yeah.
same?
No, more towards the normal.
Right.
Yeah. But that's because as soon as they became pregnant, they won't leave that male.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He's like protection, and there's less chance of him committing infanticide towards her offspring. So it's a good tactic to stay with him. But I did not expect the whole castrated male thing, which has been a really fun thing to deal with and try and figure out.
You must have some
Yes.
really interesting papers, like in the way that you described them and stuff.
But the
Like,
problem is that my paper's like, so I was setting this experiment up to test this, but then I found this.
Yeah.
And that's science. And then I found this, and I don't know what it means, but it might mean this, and further testing is required.
yeah.
Yep.
Follow-up test underway.
Yeah.
Every single paper. The testing is
It's
required.
required. Yeah.
Well, and that's what
Ah,
So excited.
we've got a winner.
winner, chicken dinner.
We've got a winner. We're good.
We can't see that though.
Some very passionate yelling.
I am so good. So,
Passionate young
for those of you on YouTube, we were having some maple syrup shots before we started to get all pumped up and like hyped up. But I feel like maybe these students also
They
may have
definitely
had
just
a
got
little bit of
natural
sugar this
maple.
morning. They're really excited about.
Was there morning
Doing
tea
outside.
involved here? I'm just.
Fruit Loops breakfast.
Fruit
Yes.
Loops for
I love
breakfast.
Fruit Loops.
Woo!
That's so good.
I mean, does your department run on coffee?
All right.
Yeah.
Run out of coffee?
I am
Run on.
very curious to find out how you guys went. I know that the team over here, what was your team name? Berry Blast. Killed it. Won every round. They were amazing. These guys, not so amazing, but that's okay. We still love and respect you very much. How was that, guys? Fun? Okay, cool. I'll go for that. That was fun. I have to say that from here, you guys looked really into it. So we're going to be looking at the data, and Tegan will help us because Tegan does this. So she's going to help us look at the data, and we're going to analyze it and figure out what the females liked and why, and how we came to find that. So do we have the data? Yes,
We also
we
have a
do.
mathematician.
We'll all help each other out here. That is really tiny, and I don't know what I'm looking at.
Some bar graphs. So that's
So some bar graphs. This is the groups. Yes. Mike, do you just wanna talk loud?
Should I just talk
Yeah, just talk loud.
Yeah. We can all see behind the curtain.
all the magic that's
You guys can't see it.
No. And what we find is everyone takes a really long time to figure out their first mating.
So the first time you guys were trying to figure it out, it took longer?
Yeah.
Okay. It took longer the first time, but then as we went on, the second, third, fourth, fifth time, it didn't take as long. It took, actually, if you can't see the bar graph, it went from taking a really long time to not a very long time. Why do you think that is? Yes. Because you learn. Yes, exactly. So with trial and error, you actually became better at knowing what the female liked and what the female didn't like. So as a male, you would get really good at this. I mean, the first time you might not mate because you don't know what females like, but eventually on the third and fourth try, you might figure out what females like and then, get lucky. Why? So, Tegan, is there anything you wanted to add to that?
I don't know. I guess the only thing I could say is, in the wild, if a male is trying to impress a female, whichever one does, say if because he's got like a peacock with lots of colourful feathers and the female loves that, so she mates with him, that means that he will leave more offspring and his genes and his bright feathers will be passed on, and that's how those traits can get really common in many of the population. So that actually drives what we call sexual selection.
Okay.
Did any of the birds like the bottle caps? Did we find that out?
No.
Did any of the birds like the bottle caps? No. So
Yes.
what did you?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Did we all have the same female bird, or did we have different birds? I think we might have had different birds.
I mean,
birds.
Hey.
our birds liked berries and a flower,
Berries in
Yeah.
a flower.
but all
Yeah.
different
Yes.
colours, which was
Yep.
Likes different colours.
We had green berries, yellow flowers, red berries, blueberries, right?
because it's not science unless you write it down.
Yeah, not science unless you write it down.
On graph paper.
On graph paper. yeah, I really do have graph paper here. Just
And
there.
so I noticed that you guys here in the audience started getting up and moving around and trading. There was a lot of trading going on in the room. What prompted that? Who figured that out? Who thought, well, we've tried everything. What's next? And did that help you? Yes.
Is that something that would also happen in the wild, kind of males swapping, like do they like go out and find little like rocks? Don't penguins or something find rocks? Or?
Yeah, but males don't tend to cooperate with each
Yeah.
other. They're in competition.
Yeah.
Standard male competition. So it's they less help each other than try and thwart each other.
Yeah,
So
right.
these
Just
groups should have been
stealing.
stealing each other's
Yeah, they will
cards.
steal each other.
Yeah. So less about sharing, but more about like nothing I'm doing is working. Let me steal some of yours.
Yeah, that's quite common. So,
Yeah.
so if he's
Yeah.
left the nest to go and he's trying to build like a really awesome nest, and he leaves to go get something else, another male will whip in and grab
Yeah.
a great stick and whip off.
Competition. There you go. So, I want to know a little bit. I want to have a chat with you guys now, just about. I mean, and we were chatting while you guys were playing. We were chatting, and we were chatting with the people on YouTube. But I just want to have a little bit of a chat about science in general. And one thing that's really coming out, a common thread I find, is with you guys, but any scientist that I ever talk to, pretty much, it's just the passion and the interest that we have for our subject and our topic and what we do. Like, scientists all really love what they do, and I'm wondering, where does that passion come from? Where does that interest come from? And yeah, is it important to like what you do and do what you like? And what do you think? Fonti?
Absolutely, because I think it's really hard to work on something when you're not interested in it or you don't have that passion. I don't know where it necessarily comes from. I think I got into science because I really like watching David Attenborough BBC documentaries, and
Yes,
I thought, wow,
me
that
too.
stuff is really cool. I want
Yeah.
to know more.
Yeah.
But I think it's different for everyone.
We definitely don't do it for the money.
Yeah. So you have to, it has to come from.
Labor of love.
Yes,
Definitely
exactly.
labor of love. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just really curious.
Always.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Ooh.
We got questions.
Oh, we've got questions. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of questions.
Ooh.
Wow. Also, so Yeah, great. Well, hey, so one of the questions is, what are the pros and cons of doing science and maths? What are some pros and cons? No cons.
I mean,
all
money is a
money.
con, right? This is
Like
not the best
struggle
paid
for
job.
funding is
But if you love it, I see that less of a con, but just
more
like,
of a just one of those kind of challenges you've got to.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, I kind of feel like I have a dream job, right? Even though we've covered the pay is not amazing, but also the pay is not bad. And you get to do really fun stuff. Not all the time, but most of the day is doing really fun stuff. Even, I don't know who's been doing teaching. Turns out that teaching's fun.
Teaching
Teaching is so
I
fun.
didn't know that.
Teaching is teachers, is teaching fun?
Yes.
We do get Monday-itis, so that's not a thing in science.
No.
I actually, like enjoy taking the weekend off, but then it comes to Monday, I'm like, yes, I get back to it.
You're pumped
Which is
again.
so important. I mean, we spend so much time at work. It's so important to be able to look forward to that and look forward to going to work and doing something exciting. And I mean, when I talk to my friends and my family who aren't scientists, they think that I lead the coolest life. They think I'm cool because I get to do interesting stuff. I work with interesting people. I travel. I go all over the world. Like,
Travel is such a big one.
yeah, isn't
It's
it?
also like
to go
sometimes
so
you can be like, you come home to your partner and you're like, what did you do today? And you come out with these really random things. Like, say Fonti comes home and said, I had to visit Lizard Fight Club today. Like, someone else is like, oh yeah, I did some spreadsheets. Or,
I had some meetings.
Yeah,
We
exactly.
have really random answers to that question.
Yeah, it's never the same. Every day is never the same. You always
Yeah,
get
and I
something different.
You're not going to get
happening.
bored.
No.
There's one slightly, I don't know, one thing for me personally, which I don't know how this applies to everyone, is sometimes when you're working on a thing and you work it out and you go, I've worked that out. I'm the first person in the world to know this.
Yes, I do, yeah.
Bam!
Yes.
Yeah.
No one else has known this
Very
until
cool.
me just now.
Yeah.
And then you get to publish it. And,
Well, yeah,
you know,
because
share it.
you're
You get to
always
share.
on the cutting edge. I mean, that's what research is, right? You're not going to research something that we already know. You're always going to be researching something that we don't know because we want to find the answer. So when you do find the answer, you're the first person in the world to figure out that answer.
it's not in the
And-
textbook.
And like Anna was saying earlier, sometimes those answers change how we look at the world and what we know, and rewrites textbooks
Definitely,
and
yeah.
that kind of stuff.
I think it's great that you always get to share as well. That's a big part of science, is putting your work out there and telling the rest of the community about what you've discovered.
Yeah,
It's very like collaborative in that way.
exactly. Hey, so someone wants to know, will time travel ever be possible, Anna?
And we are time traveling right now. We are moving forward in time. Whether we can do it more than what we do in our day-to-day lives, I'm gonna hedge my bets on that one. But yeah, I mean, we can time travel in the way that we look back in time, that we see what has happened in the past, but we can't interact with what has happened in the past. So that's kind of like time traveling in the way that we're able to use really big telescopes to look at how galaxies evolve and how the way light and matter interact, 10 to 13 billion years ago and along that spectrum. But whether we can actually, go back and visit our great-great-grandparents,
Not sure.
probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Maybe. We'll see.
Hopefully. Hey, someone wants to know, what's wrong with the way science is taught at school? And not that the way science is taught at school is wrong, but I mean, does it compare the way you guys work in your field? How does that compare to how science is taught at school?
I feel like a lot of, speaking from my experience when I was doing science in school, I feel like a lot of it is handed to you. And when I had to do my own research, you just have to figure it out a lot on your own.
Yeah.
And I think that's not being taught, just going, seeking out questions and answers and stuff like that.
Yeah. Actually, that's a really good point because for all of you here and all of you on YouTube, at school you're asked questions and you have to answer them. As a scientist, You ask questions. You ask your own questions. And then you get to answer them. So no one is telling you what you need to do, what you need to ask. You're driven by your own curiosity, which is so, and that's probably why we're so passionate and interested in what we do, because it's what we want to know. It's all from our own interests, isn't it?
Yep. Even interests that sometimes other people think are slightly crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, why on earth would you ever research that? It's like, oh, why not? It's
Yeah,
interesting.
you can pretty much
Yeah.
research anything, like
Yeah.
anything. People will research anything, which is like sometimes a little bit weird. Someone asked, how often do you use algebra? You know, it's really interesting.
Dan?
It's really interesting because you know what, like Dan, I honestly, I didn't think that I could be a scientist one day. And the reason why I didn't think I could be a scientist was, one, I wasn't that good at science, and I was not very good at maths. I wasn't. But I am a scientist, and I'm doing okay, I think, as good as I can, because I didn't let those barriers get in the way. Yes, I'm not that good at science, and yes, I wasn't that good at maths, but I didn't let that be a barrier. I let that curiosity and that interest and passion drive me. Right?
Yep.
So, like, how often do you use algebra?
I mean-
maybe you do a lot, but
Me personally, constantly. That's not all the time. But I mean, also a thing that I hear a lot from. It depends on the person, but often you hear from a mathematician that they think that they're terrible at maths, right?
yeah.
So one thing.
Yeah,
thing
and I
like-
was like, yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I don't think that people in my department would tend to say there's some super maths genius. It's not like every one of us wakes up and goes, oh, I'll do some calculus in my head. It's way more likely that you find people in my department who are really stubborn about wanting to solve a problem, and they will learn the mathematics it takes to solve the problem. It's not usually about going, oh, I'm just, I'm waking up and there's those weird integral signs just floating in front of my eyes, and then I go to the blackboard and it all comes out and it's perfect. No, it's not like that. It's this notebook is full of all the things. It's full of nothing but mistakes, hundreds of pages of mistakes,
I love that
and then
you've actually
eventually.
got math on there.
Oh yeah, I was.
Can I show it? Can,
He's actually got math.
this is Dan's notebook that he brought this morning. Like,
Actually.
Yeah, so I'm
there we go.
This is that's actually from a research paper I'm trying to write at the moment. I mean, the bottom part's from the birds.
From the birds, yeah.
But the other one is another problem in wireless reliability. So I want to know how likely your network is to fail. We're doing some new approaches to that at the moment.
Cool.
But
cool.
yeah,
How many years do you have to be in uni to become a scientist?
I'm still at uni. I don't know.
Yeah.
We are all at uni right
When
now.
are we technically a scientist? Like,
I mean-
when I was doing my PhD, or does that count? Or
Yeah.
That-
Definitely.
I think that
Then-
counts.
And it's just you just do like an undergrad
Yeah.
degree and
Even
boom.
when you're doing your undergrad, you can still be doing science. Like, we have a lot of undergrad researchers in our research group that come in at the halfway through their first year. So that's like 6 months out of school, and they're getting in there and doing science.
Yeah, I published a paper for my undergrad.
And
Yeah,
the
right.
cool thing is that
Right.
we just did a science experiment with everyone playing the
Yes,
blue
you're all
sphere, so technically
scientists.
So you guys
everyone
are
is a
scientists.
scientist.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah,
it's
what
that easy.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can be at uni for a really long time, but as soon as you kind of do science, essentially, you're a scientist. So you guys are scientists. You guys are scientists. All right, we have one last little game that we want to play, and it's called Name That Scientist. So you're gonna need Slido on YouTube. Get your phone out. We're going to be using Slido. I'm going to be showing you some questions, and we're going to try and guess which scientist
Yeah.
it is.
On the polls.
All right. So at home on YouTube, I'm sorry, I'm staring at my phone. I'm just trying to work this out here. Okay. So you should be able to see, and you should all be able to see the question.
Oh my
Which
gosh, it's
scientist?
Oh.
Yeah, you.
Oh.
Okay, which scientist is an amazing dancer?
There's no footage that goes with this, right?
Yeah. Is this going to be?
I don't know. I'm not telling. So who do you think is an amazing dancer? Now, unfortunately, I cannot see the responses. Oh, so everyone thinks Tegan is.
Or Dan, maybe? Dan's got some votes.
Dan's musical.
Dan's got some votes. Dan's got some votes
What are these
happening
questions?
here.
Not me, apparently.
I can't see the questions. I want
You can't see the questions.
They're on
Yeah,
the polls.
Oh, on the polls.
On the polls.
Ah.
All right.
It's pretty close between the three of them.
Oh, Fonti's getting votes now.
Yeah, you're on almost 30%.
All right.
Dan's on 30%.
So, will the dancer put his hand up?
This is the self-evaluated amazing dancer.
Are you gonna do a demo?
Apparently, I don't know.
Demo? What kind of dancing do you do?
I mean, I just-
explain. So, what do you do?
I thought I said I liked dancing. I didn't know I gave myself a quality assessment, but sure.
Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I decided that you were a
I
good
do a lot of
dancer.
dancing.
If you got up in front, what was it, a festival?
I mean, I also DJ quite a lot.
Okay.
Cool.
So I also dance at a lot of parties. That's
Dance at a lot of
I don't do
parties.
so many festivals because I don't have enough time to go out to the bush.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
yeah,
So, a little demo?
a little demo.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I don't know. Do you guys want a demo?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Oh! Oh my God! You are awesome. I did not
don't know how that
expect
worked for
that. I
YouTube.
don't know what I expected. There you go.
We just got the
Oh, that is amazing. The worm. Okay. Wow. And it's only 11:30 in the morning. Okay, next question, everyone. Pull out your Slido, and you should see the next question, which is: which scientist smelt all day from falling into a muddy swamp whilst gracefully, but not so much so, trying to jump over it?
Both you and Tegan do field work. I'm gonna go you, though. I feel like you do more field work.
I don't know.
Like lizards getting in like in the mud.
So how are we looking?
No responses up there.
Fonti.
Everyone thinks
Fonti's on
it's
80%.
Fonti.
Yeah.
80% vote Fonti.
Yeah, look, this would probably happen to me too.
So who was it, guys?
It was me.
It was you, wasn't it?
Were you wearing a nice like white outfit as well?
No, I was
or-
in field dress. I was in khaki, but I was kind of meandering through some golf course bushes with my volunteer, who is 6 feet tall and has the longest legs in the world. And he managed to gracefully jump, so I was like, okay, I can do this. And I just fell straight into the swamp.
Oh no. Which smell? I can that really
It's just that organic
lingers,
smell.
doesn't it?
Yeah. We just
Yeah,
had
I
to do
know.
field
I can still smell it. No,
It's like, that was just yesterday, right?
that was, yeah. Oh gosh. Okay. Next question should be popping up right now. Who makes the best chocolate chip cookies ever?
Ooh.
Ooh,
Who do you think?
hard.
We should have a bake-off for the next one.
Anna.
Yeah.
80% Anna vote.
Science Bake Off.
Science Bake Off. I would be so down for that.
Yeah.
That would be
Oh
so
my
much
gosh.
Bacon PhD.
Yeah.
Bake your PhD.
Yes!
Yes.
We
Oh,
should.
that's so good.
You know there's a dance your PhD.
I do.
Is
There it is.
There's a time series.
So you can, so for you guys out there, people who do PhD, there's an actual competition where you can do interpretive dance and dance your PhD to present like what your research is. It gets a little weird. It gets a little weird.
Yeah.
So we've still
A
got
lot of
80%
repetitions of it as
Anna.
well.
So Anna, are you a mad baker?
I do make really good chocolate chip cookies.
yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, they're real nice.
Are they your favorite to make?
What'd you say? A demo.
Well, Anna brought chocolate chip cookies for her. Oh no, you
I'm gonna make them
didn't.
tomorrow. I think. Though. So I
Oh.
usually bake every weekend if I can.
What's your secret to your
You
chocolate
gotta
chip?
brown the butter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's
there you go.
definitely.
You don't have equipment in your lab you can use for this purpose, do you?
Well, I don't have a lab,
Yeah.
so no, I just use my
Yeah.
kitchen
Yeah.
like a normal baker.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you can't just warm the cookies up in the back of the really hot CPU of the computer that you're overloading.
yeah, just like leave them on my computer a little bit, and they get nice and melty.
Yeah, crispy on the bottom.
That's really good.
Next question. Which scientists ban themselves from playing video games because they're too addictive? Who do you think that is? Who's addicted to video games? Probably not the one laughing.
Probably not. That's exactly what I voted.
Everyone thinks Tegan. You're winning so far.
Yep.
But it's only like 67%. So like,
Massive game.
you definitely could be a massive gamer.
Still Tegan. So who is it?
Is it you?
It's you. It's Dan. It's Dan, guys.
I've only ever played like one.
Yeah, me too. So what's your fave?
Okay, so the game that I banned myself from originally was super old now. It's Star Control 2.
Oh
Do you
wow,
remember Star
yeah.
Control 2?
Yeah.
I was just playing that 24 hours a day for a while there, and I finished it, and I was like,
You
it
finished it.
can't get better than this, and also I've done nothing but this for weeks now. I should probably stop. Anyway, you can download it for free online, just FYI.
It's probably.
You too want to get addicted.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Wow.
It's a space one. They go into space and
Space, oh
find
my God,
minerals.
yes.
It's basically like
That's so
your
good.
entire research
that's
area.
Whole science. That's all you need to do.
Molecules. Yeah.
So have a lot of people finished that, or are you like one of a small group of people in the
Oh
world?
no,
who-
I'm not elite. A lot of people have finished this. A lot of people have finished this game. Yeah.
Cool. Next question. Which scientist likes to binge watch Netflix, especially Stranger Things? Oh my god, I can't watch that show.
I don't think kids can watch it too.
I'm too scared.
Surely kids can't watch that.
I can't.
It's too scary.
Okay, you guys in the audience, most of you, your parents aren't here. Who watches Stranger Things?
Okay.
You are crazy. It's so scary. I can't even watch it.
I only watched season 1.
All right, so Tegan, is it you?
Yes. I am a
Really?
Yes, I'm a self-confessed Netflix binge watcher. Yes.
What's your second favorite after Stranger Things?
Oh, that's such a hard question. There's so much on there.
So much.
Definitely, yeah. I just finished the whole Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The new season that just came out, but yeah.
I'm watching Schitt's Creek right now. I didn't swear. And
SCH,
that is
isn't it?
hilarious.
Yeah.
Those Canadians are hilarious, as most of them are. All right. Which scientist, this is so random, which scientist wanted to be a wedding planner? Which scientist wanted to be a wedding
I think
planner?
it's Dan. Fonti's getting some draw.
Really?
Fonti's
Yeah.
at 40%, Anna at 27.
Oh, Fonti.
Oh, we're getting some Fonties in the room.
Some confirmation out
I
there.
feel like it could be Tegan as well, maybe? No?
55.
Oh, you've got that very, like, good poker face, right? Are you good at poker?
Oh yeah, you're winning the poker face race.
Yeah. This is so expressive, I can't give it away.
I don't have
Fonty's
poker
a-
face.
53.
Fonty.
Yeah, guilty. That's
Guilty?
what I wanted to do before I enrolled into a science degree.
Really cool.
Yeah, I really liked organizing events, and I thought weddings are such a happy occasion. so
Yes.
why not? But I
Do you love the wedding? All the wedding movies? Do you watch it's like J-Lo, your hero?
I enjoy a few indulgent rom-coms, but
Yeah?
not particularly targeting wedding movies.
Okay. All right.
Like the wedding planner? That's like a...
Yeah,
all
like
about
Jennifer
wedding.
Lopez, Matthew McConaughey.
It's just the idea I get to organize the crap out of something, and then
And then it's gonna
becomes-
be perfect.
Yeah, then it becomes perfect. That
Aw.
just hooked me.
Nice.
And there's no p-value required.
Yeah.
No.
No credible interview.
Just budgeting. Like, you need to be good at budgeting.
And there's a lot of math that goes into like
Yes.
planning something.
Okay, we've got 2 more questions for Name That Scientist. The next question is, who wanted to be an elite, sorry, I keep on pressing the same button. Who wanted to be an elite athlete on this couch here?
Okay, so it's definitely me.
An elite athlete.
Wanted to be a wedding planner.
Yeah, that's true. I think
Tegan is winning this one with
Guys, it could
60,
definitely be
50,
Focus on lagging.
4%.
Is it a bandwidth problem?
Oh no, it's my fault.
Oh no! Dan's not playing. Oh no.
Tegan is definitely pulling
Technology fail. Tegan, is it you?
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
What kind of elite athlete? Just
So-
randomly, just an elite athlete?
Just
or anything?
anyone?
All
When
the-
I was younger, I played a lot of hockey. Like a lot.
Hockey.
Yes.
I like that you say hockey, not ice hockey. Oh, unless
So
you
it's
mean
field
hockey.
hockey.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
field hockey.
Okay.
You're in Australia.
Right.
Real
Field hockey. Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
call it hockey.
Yeah, I played an awful lot that was my whole life up until I was about 18.
Wow. Did you play for
Wow.
the state, Australia?
I played for Australia under 17s.
Congrats.
Wow. Impressive.
Nice.
Yeah. So I don't play anymore. Now I'm more of a yogi than anything else, but I really enjoyed
Oh,
hockey
that's
when
why
I was
it's
younger.
such this like
The
zen
serene.
demeanor.
That's where you got your poker face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All that meditation and yoga.
Jeez.
You've got to do something with all the stress.
I'm so impressed.
Yep.
Yeah, wow. Awesome. Okay, last question is incomplete. That was the last question, guys. Thank you for playing Name That Scientist. That was awesome. So we are at the end of our show. You guys on YouTube, thank you so much for joining us and playing along. I hope that you guys enjoyed it. You guys in the audience, you were amazing. That team, congratulations on
blessed.
winning that competition and securing that female. Hey, thank you guys so much. You do such amazing work. You're such interesting people. I wish you all the best. And look, happy Sydney Science Festival. Happy National Science Week. We do these all the time, so go to Arludo at YouTube, and I think we do them every 2 weeks or so, every fortnight. So just look out for the next one. We always talk to someone super exciting. Otherwise, we will see you very soon. Thanks, everyone. And hey, happy Science Week. Bye. Woo!